Hey there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading. We're just going to jump right in because you, similar to Scorpio, are represented with a card that connotes some heavy weight. Scorpio got the 10 of swords. You, my friends, have the 10 of wands, which tells me that you are carrying a lot of weight that is not yours to carry. Was the main message that came through. Was like, I feel like you are shouldering the burden of other people, kind of either ignoring their responsibilities or just not pulling through, excuse me. This feels kind of like the energy of, well, if it's going to be done and if it's going to be done correctly, then I just have to do it myself. This is feeling like you just don't have a lot of people around to support you right now, or even if you do, this is like you are still just you're just doing all the work. You're carrying most of the weight right now. This feels like it could be tied to a bit of impatience. I'm not going to lie to you, Sagittarius. If you want something to get going faster than what you feel other people can do, or for some of you, I feel like this is like you are taking whatever this situation is more seriously than everyone else is. Maybe there's a little bit more urgency tied to it for you for some reason, because I'm seeing that literally like patience and kind of the more like, oh, understanding nature isn't really what you're leaning towards right now, Sagittarius. This feels more like um you really want to get the ball rolling and keep it going, but it feels like there's some kind of underlying like sense of stress that I haven't quite gotten to yet in the reading. The conscious influence I'm seeing, there are some difficulties overcoming. um I'm seeing the end of a relationship. I'm seeing and I don't normally talk about signs on here, even though I am doing zodiac signs. If you were engaged, not literally engaged, but if you were involved with, is what I meant to say, but maybe you were engaged. If you were involved with a water sign, that is present in three places here. So maybe you were dealing with a water sign, and the emotions of it are also this temperance. Also, the imagery of it is all water, and there are actually a couple cups in there I'm seeing. Um, so there's a lot of emotion centering around the end of this relationship. This really could be the end of a marriage, because where the queen and the king of cups are in this spread do connote a kind of separation in that way, with the four of wands here. So if you were married, this is like, but this is otherwise just the end of a serious connection, a relationship, and this doesn't have to be romantic. This can be, in other ways. However, um this is just talking about that kind of processing of very painful emotions, and trying your best. I'm seeing this is like having to just deal with it. This is like, if you were to like tell someone who maybe doesn't know you that well that you were like going through this really painful time, like, well, like, I had no idea, like, kind of hide it so well, kind of a thing. And I see that that is becoming also like just an added stress, because you're not allowing yourself to process the grief of what is currently happening. And in the subconscious influence, I'm seeing just more pain here. We have the three of swords and the five of swords. This feels like replaying really difficult conversations, hurtful arguments, name calling, that kind of energy. You know what I mean? Like, that is what is on your mind, kind of things that either went unsaid or were um, said with the intent of like hurting. That's kind of what's like been on your mind. In the past influence I'm seeing, that is where this connection is coming through. It feels like a connection that did not evolve when it needed to, if that makes sense. It feels like a connection that was very much, it worked at one time, but this feels like either you or this other person, or both of you, you know what I mean, could have grown in ways where there just wasn't that ability for, or there wasn't that compatibility anymore. Like, it feels like that, like whatever direction you both kind of saw your life going in, when you got together, ultimately is not what panned out, kind of an energy. So I think when it came to making like big kinds of decisions around the relationship and around where it was going, there were a lot of disagreements, and ultimately, you two parted ways. coming towards you. I feel this sense of anxiety around maybe you feel like there's been some kind of deception, or maybe you feel like you're being lied to. I'm just seeing like lots of anxious thought. I'm seeing some kind of communication. I don't know if it's an actual conversation. This also kind of talks about written word contract kind of thing. So you might see like text, you will see some kind of communication that will hopefully put all of the anxious thoughts to rest, is what I'm seeing. I'm just realizing it's all four, actually. All four of the court water signs are out. So if you have, again, if you're dealing with a water sign, or if you have children that are involved at all, this could also be noting to that, like someone's child may have something to say or present someone that will like resolve some kind of misunderstanding, some kind of miscommunication around that. Also, but if you don't have children, this is also just talking about a kind of a more vulnerable conversation, a more vulnerable like exchange of emotions, so that some healing can be kind of so that healing can begin, to be quite honest. I'm seeing in the hopes and also the most likely outcome. Again, this conversation, this is one of two ways, and you will know which path you are more on if you were at this point in the reading, whether you were kind of seeking reconciliation and a moving forward and that kind of understanding. Then that is kind of the path that conversation will take. And with that, I'm seeing, again, this is just like, this is one of the most vulnerable kinds of energies that I'm seeing. This is just kind of like laying it all out to bear. This is like not feeling ashamed about whatever kind of emotion. This is honestly how I feel, and this is what I want to do. And it leads to the like putting to bed essentially what has been up to this point and starting anew. You know what I mean? And kind of giving each other that opportunity um to like rediscover the love that you have for each other and share with one another. On the other hand, if this is the point where you just feel that you have shouldered the burden for so long, and that the kind of hurtful things that have been said, there's no kind of going back. Like, these are two very distinct energies. So that's why I'm saying, like, you'll know which one it is if you want to have a conversation and like make up, versus you just like, I need to get whatever is done squared away so that I can be fully disconnected from you. Then that is the other course that it's taking, because I see that as a possibility here as well. And this is about like, if you're more on that end, it's very clearly talking about, this is like a taking back of one's autonomy and power, and like exerting your own will and what it is that you want in your life. And this is literally, I'm seeing you like taking off. Like, this is like there has been, if we want to do the silver linings thing of like this very difficult relationship, it is part of that, where it's like this relationship has shown you so clearly what it is that you do not want, where it's like there's no more fear in pursuing what it is that you do want. This is like taking immediate action, and like, I'm getting the heck out of here and I'm pursuing what it is that I feel that I need to do, because you feel that you've been held back in such a way through this experience. All right, Sagittarius, let's get an oracle for you, my dears. I appreciate you guys being here. You probably already know that I am going through all the zodiac signs again. So if you know your big three or any prominent placements, and you want to go check out the other readings, you could definitely do that. There's no way that I have this card again. I swear I cleanse and shuffle these decks between every reading. It's the practice curiosity card again, which I have gotten like 3 times in the past couple of weeks. That fox is just wanting to make himself known. So I am going to put it back, because we've read it so many times. Okay. There we go. We have 31. Look beyond the surface. There's a picture of a frog with a crown on his head. I don't believe I've ever gotten this one before. Let's see what he says. It says, if the Prague Prince taught us anything, it was that there's more to the story than what appears on the surface. Now is the time to use the eyes of soul. Do not judge based on the current facts. There is something brewing beyond and behind the reality of this current moment. Use your other senses, the keen ears of deep listening, the revelation of touch, the scent of magic or danger, the sixth sense of energetic awareness. Your blessings often arrive in disguise. Wolf corruption can dress in sheep's kindness clothing. Now is the moment to discern the truth behind appearances. All right, Sagittarius. Also, sorry if you just heard that weird noise. That was my dog who's asking me to go feed them. That is all I have for you guys today. I hope that this helped. I really, really do. If it did resonate and you want to let me know and you want to drop a like or a comment, I really do love hearing from you guys. And it helps me out to be quite honest. And if you want to know when I post another video, you can go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Alrighty. Thanks again. I hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye.